Deontay Wilder stops Luis Ortiz in devastating fashion. In this video, we're going to be discussing the fight. We're going to be discussing whether Deontay Wilder is the baddest man on the planet. And we're going to be discussing where they go from here. So last night we saw Deontay Wilder stretch his record to 40-0 with 39 stoppages and retain his WBC heavyweight title. And what a fight it was. It had a little bit of everything. Stoppages, both fighters in trouble, and a big knockout ending, definitively. So the fight itself was very much fought at Ortiz's pace. It was, a bit of a chess match. Ortiz seems to be getting the better. He was winning the early rounds. It was at a slow pace. He was getting in relatively close, and he was boxing and he was moving very well. Whereas Deontay Wilder, he wasn't really landing the jabs. It seemed like he was lacking the confidence to really go all out like we've seen him against so many other opponents until the fifth round when he got that massive knockdown, and that really gave him the confidence to go on and win the next round. But in the seventh round, it kind of all changed. Whilst it seemed to be a bit of a nothing round, Wilder was kind of cruising until he ate a big shot from Ortiz and he was in danger. Huge danger. Ortiz was landing huge bombs. But Wilder didn't go down. He was saved by the bell. He was on his feet. He went back to his corner and, he looked like he was in trouble. But he managed to compose himself, and we saw Ortiz establish himself in the subsequent rounds, until the ninth, where we saw some big shots from Wilder, until the 10th, when it completely changed. Wilder stepped up through the gears, got a massive knockdown, and Ortiz didn't know what to do, and he was ultimately stopped with a gigantic uppercut. It really was a gigantic uppercut, and Wilder progresses. He retains that title, and I think he's answered a lot of the critics. A lot of the critics that said that he wasn't going to win. We spoke about this in one of the prediction videos that I made when I spoke about what you guys were predicting. There were so many predictions where people were saying that Ortiz was going to comfortably outbox Wilder and ultimately stop him. And, for the first few rounds, I'm sure the Wilder fans were thinking, oh, this might be the case. Ortiz he's using his skill. He's not allowing Wilder to really, inflict much damage. And if this continues to go on, it could be an easy daddy office for Luis Ortiz. But we all know what Wilder has. He has the equalizer, that sheer, unadulterated, concussive power, which has enabled him to get so many easy stoppages and make opponents look like they were lower rate, and even lower rate than they possibly were. And I've often thought that the criticism that Wilder gets for being not very accurate, for being wild, for not really having the balance, lacking the technical skills, it's one of those questions where I've often thought maybe it's the fact that it's his style. He makes his opponents look good because of the way that he fights. So maybe we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But in that post-fight interview, he said, speak it, believe it, receive it. And it came to him. He rode through the hard times in those middle rounds where it looked like it was all over. He was on, a few seconds from defeat to proceed and get the stoppage victory himself. Now, is he the baddest man on the planet? A lot of people are saying it. A lot of, even himself, Deontay Wilder, saying he's the baddest man on the planet. We have to look at Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua is the man who beat the man. He beat the great Wladimir Klitschko. So we have to say the #1 spot is still with Anthony Joshua. And this is a fight that has to happen. We heard it in the post-fight interview. Deontay Wilder was insinuating that, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, they don't want the fight. They want another fight. And I think that fight is the winner of Povetkin versus Price. Yep, either one of those guys. I know most people will be picking Povetkin. Most people will be expecting Povetkin to win. And I think that Povetkin wins that fight. He will be enlisted as a mandatory challenger for Anthony Joshua. And I think they're going to want to go down that route. For me, I think it'll be a mistake. We need to see Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua fight now, whilst they both have these almost perfect records. They're both, you know, on a collision course. And it would be a mistake to let it brew. And the mistake to let it brew was because there's so many other guys that can come up and spoil the party. You know, as we say, we've got Povetkin, you know, we've got Kubrat Pulev, who was meant to be the mandatory challenger. We've got the winner of White and Browne. We've got David Haye potentially, you know, if he can get his act together. You know, there's a few others. And, you know, if we let this brew any longer, there's going to be other people. Jarrell Miller in the picture at the end of the year. And, you know, you know, in 18 months, we've got a lot of these young guys, you know, a lot of these, you know, Olympian guys that have come into the program. In 18 months, they may be around the world scene. So we need to see this fight ASAP. In the summer, Wembley Stadium, it will be made. We've seen what Eddie Hearn has done with the Anthony Joshua Parker fight. They've made it into a huge event, despite the fact that Parker does not really have that, you know, that big appeal, that widespread appeal. Okay, he isn't a knockout puncher. Deontay Wilder is a huge, devastating knockout puncher, and this will be the biggest fight of the year. No two ways about it. It has to be made in this summer. There was some speaker in the air about the fact that if this does get made, there'll be the rematch anyway. So there'll be two huge fights. And, you know, there's also the other factor, the Tyson Fury factor. He's coming back. We're led to believe he's going to want a title shot as well. He's going to want the Anthony Joshua fight. Everyone's going to want the Anthony Joshua fight. So we need to get the Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua unification fight done this year, this summer, to crown who is truly the baddest man on the planet. And I can't wait to see what happens. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the fight, how you thought about Deontay Wilder stopping Luis Ortiz. Is Luis Ortiz done? Can he come back? Or is he done? Is he too much of an old man? You know, he put up that gallant effort. He looks brilliant in the first rounds. Can he come back? You know, can Deontay Wilder beat Anthony Joshua? Is it one step too far? Let me know in the comment section below. And remember to hit the subscribe button for all the big fight predictions in 2018.